So let's continue from where we stop. We're able to connect our modal and we're able to add item to the list. So if I click on this one now, it's going to add it to the list with the correct title, the correct order total, and the correct cards that we have there. So all this one has been done, but we can't remove item from here. This one too is not working yet. We can increase and we can decrease. So we need to add this logic. And at the same time, we need to update our model with the correct data that we have here. And I think we can start with this one first, which is because it's cheap. So what we need to do here is just to update the data so we don't want to use this dummy data. We want to use the correct data. They're just like what we have here. So what we're supposed to have is just two items instead of all these title here that we have. And at the same time, to this order needs to match what we have here. So, and I mentioned it yesterday that I won't be doing a lot of action work. So I'm going to just do copy and paste for the code that we use for this one so that we'll go over the stuff again there. So start a new order. The logic of this one is that anytime you click on this start new order, it will wipe off the cards item that we have. So let me open my DevTools so that we can see the structure of our context that we talked about yesterday, where we are saying like, which is where we put all our states of the application, and any component can go there to pick anything that they wanted. So using this extension that I talked about yesterday, so click on the context, we are going to see whatever value that context is sending out. So under the value, we are sending the cards, and as you can see, we have two items, which is what this one is displaying here. So we need to do the same thing here too. So just come to this cards, pick the items and display it, and again to the total based on the items we have in our cart. And once you click on this one, the job of that one is just to wipe off these cards there like that. So I don't think we have that functionality yet. So let's go into this our context where we have all the necessary utilities hooks that we've created there. So we have the add to carts. We've worked on it. So let me remove this one. This one has been done already. So we have, based on the product you are sending to it, it will construct out the carts and it will update whatever that is inside the cart. So we have this update function that we're going to get into later on. But for now, let's just have this clear carts. So the job of this one is wipe off whatever that is there and make it a brand new or empty state there. And what do we need to do here? Nothing much. It's just to call this our content and set that to empty array there. So we need to send this one out because that's what that modal is going to call before it closes the modal. So before it closes the modal, it will wipe off everything. Or after it closes the modal, it will wipe off the stuff anyone you want to use it. So this one is there. Let's just go into that modal, which is the here. So this is our modal. We've already called the use modal. Apart from that, we need to call this. Let me see. Yeah, as you can see, I'm rendering the other items, but we are using this dummy array value. So we need to use the cat itself again to clear. Am I using the clear cat here? The button is here. So clear uh cats, the name has to match, or let me call the use. This thing is going to bring it up for me, which is going to be use cats, because that's what we need. So use cats import. Then if everything is not correct here, it will tell us that this thing is not correct. All the structure are not used, so that's okay. So that what we just need to do here now is to remove this array that we are using here and just use our cards. And you always see me using this question mark just to avoid error in case something is wrong or we call the wrong thing. You just see undefined instead of you showing error on the screen. So and then I'm not going to call this one item again. I'm going to call it cards. And you know each card have ID on them, so I will going to use it as a key. So cards.id. And you know the item supposed to receive this is the other item. So it needs to receive the title, the quantity, and the price. So what we just need to do is to set the cart into it. So cart is going to be cart, and from there we can destructure the props. So receive the cards, just like what we did before for that this thing there. So or order, instead of even calling it cart, we can call it order. So let me call it this. Let me call it order. So this one too is going to be order. Normally we're supposed to have another state that deal with order, but we don't want to go deeper into this thing. So we are still learning React. So that's not the major thing for now. So we have this order. So I'm not sending that again. What I'm sending is the order. So and the title is going to be order title. So quantity is going to be order quantity like this, and the price is going to be, we are not doing much again too. We need the image, so order, then the price, and lastly we need the image. So cost image, we are using the dummy image before, so this is going to be order then dot image like this. So where are we using the image? We just need to switch to this one. So instead of using this order confirm, we need to use image like this. So save, and if everything is okay, we're supposed to have the stuff on the screen. Why is it not saving? It's still not saved. Control S. Yeah, as you can see now, we have, because we've already structured everything. The only thing we're just doing is using dummy data, but now we are switching it with the correct data there. So as you can see, the image, as you pick any items, it's extracting out the first image. Whatever image you give us, we just display it. And from our CSS, we already make sure that in of a particular size. The image is really large, but we make sure that it is this particular size. So that's why it's not just getting big anyhow. Again, too, we need to update this total stuff which is coming from this card, and the same logic that I used yesterday under this card side is what I'm going to use there. So where is it, the price? Okay, I think it's here. This is where I put the logic, which is by using reduce of the array there. So as you can see, this is the price or the total whatever stuff. So just copy this, go to where we have it. So this one now is going to be constant total is now going to be this, and this total now is what I will just send down into, oh no, this is not where I'm going to use it, because it's another component entirely, so I don't need to be passing it down. I just need to call the same here, paste it here. So just remove this one, paste, but there's going to be a problem. Where is the cat coming from? So we need to, because cat is going to be used cat. You see the advantage of these utility hooks. So I don't need to start doing a lot of copy and paste. So just take whatever you need from this use cat that's related to cat, and you are good to go. And any component can just go there. Not that you start doing passing props down every time like that. The reason we pass prop down for this one is because this is array. This one is expecting a single product. But you don't really know which one that is going to render. So that's why it has to come from the parent. But this one is just single entity and it's always like that. So let the component load whatever it needs. Not that the parent will send it down to this one. So we have the total, and here then we can just pass the total save, and we should have that 11,000 there. So the other thing we need to work on is this start new order. So what we just need to do is to call that our clear this thing. So up here, anytime you click on this button, it's not just going to toggle. First of all, it's going to it will toggle and it will clear whatever that is there. So we can't just use this toggle directly. We just need to call this start new order like this. And I'm going to put it here up here. So it's going to be this function here. So const start new order. Anytime it is called, what is it going to do? The first thing it's going to do is to toggle modal. And once it's done toggle modal, the next thing it's going to do is to clear cards like this. Close, then clear the cards item. So save, and I will first test everything out. Going back to the page, so clicking on this item, it should close, and you see that the card has been wiped off. There, like that. How come? Okay, there are three items. I forgot to have this. So you can see nothing much on that side, so that's why I have to work on it first. So add to the cart. So add the three items, which is going to give us the price 13,000. So click on confirm order to see the same item, but this one now is showing image there. And once you click on this start new order, it will wipe the new up. But this one is not complete. Can you see now? So that this one is doesn't know about the card, because the state of this one too needs to depend on the card. So not that this, what we are using is we are using a use state here, and use state is not related to card. So that's why there's a disjoint in between them. So we need to work on this one here like that. All right, so we need to make sure that all these in are in sync. So under the products, product doesn't know that this thing is there. So what we need to do here is that we don't need to be using this show quantity box from this use state. This show quantity box state will be depending on whether the ID of this product is part of what is inside the cart. So we need to check the cards whether it have a particular product. If you can find it here, it means it's already there. If you cannot find it there, then it means don't show this one. So what we just need to do is that extract this one out, remove these use states that we have here. So down here, what we just need to do is to create a variable as a variable, but it's depending on these cards up here. So what we need to do is a card like this. So find, each card have an ID attached to them. So we are going into the card, find the ID of the card that matches the ID of this product. So if you can find it, it will return it. If you cannot find it, it will get null or undefined. And from here, what we can just do is to convert this into boolean, because this one is supposed to be a boolean as a class. This thing is spelling again, this set I don't need it again. This set stuff we need to remove it for here, because we are not setting anything again. It's depending on what is coming from cat, and this one I have access to cat already, so we don't need to be passing anything down to it. The same thing here too. This button doesn't need it again because it's not using it at all. Before we have this state of a thing, so that's the reason why we just use that one as dummy. So what we need to do here is to make sure that this thing, let me convert it to a boolean. So what I'm saying here is find it. If you can find, like, it will go into the cart, look for the one that matches this particular ID of the product. If you can find it, this thing will return true. If you cannot find it, it will return false. So if it return false, it means we are not showing this quantity box. And if it's returned true, it means we are showing this quantity box. So if I save it back, all this thing will disappear, because none of them is inside that cart for now. All our cart is empty. So, and if you click on it now, this thing supposed to come back as true, because when you add it to it, the cart will get updated, and when cart got updated, it will render this component. When it render this component, this show quantity whatever stuff will recalculate everything. And when it recalculate everything, if it is okay, we should see that this one is showing that quantity box. But if it is not okay, then something is wrong somewhere. So if I click on it, as you can see, it's not working. So which means something is going on. So let me check the context, and as you can see, nothing is being added at all. So I can see that cat is not getting updated. So we need to look into this button here. As you can see, that is not updating the cat again, maybe because of that logic that or that state that I removed. So what we just need to do here is to go into that button, which is this add to cart. So what is here? So here, so this is the problem. It's not seeing this one again. So we need to remove this one, and from it, because it's not receiving it again, but we are calling it. But if you go to console log, you are going to see it already, because my console log is showing error already that something is going on that I'm trying to, can you see? So I'm trying to call this set show quantity whatever stuff, but we know we remove it now, so we can't be calling it again inside that add to cart, and that's the reason why the cart is not getting updated. But it's seeing that line, and I'm trying to call a function that doesn't exist again, that we've removed at the top. So since we remove it, we need to remove it from here too, like that. And let's go back again into this our components. So as you can see, the cart is still empty. So from there, we just need to click on the product, and as you can see now, it has shown. Because now is the state is depending on whether that, can you see that it not happened to the other one? because we are fetching based on ID. What we did on this line is that anytime you have your product, check if there is a product that matches the ID of this product. If it is there, it means we need to show the quantity box, which is what we are seeing here. So give us the box where you can increase the counter, because that means you already add the item to the cart already. So the only thing you can just do here is either to increase or to decrease the stuff. And the other component here that they won't be there because they will do their own checking. The ID is not there, so the ID is not match. And you know that each product come with their own ID, because if you check under the products, yeah, these are the products, and if you check each one of them, see the ID of this one is this. So if you check the other one that are there, you see that the ID are not the same, because we are generating the ID dynamically there, and that's how it's going to come out from the back end. But yeah, we are using our own dummy data, and the ID are not the same. So what this thing will do is that each one of them will check, is the ID of the cart matches the ID of this product. If it matches, then show this box. If it's not matched, then this is the box that is going to come out. So now it means if I confirm the order and if I start a new one, as you can see, everything is connected because they are based on that card. And once that card change, everything on the page two will change. Not that there is now the joint in the states. So yeah, I can add this one. If I add this one too, you see that it will show that it's part of the cart item. So the other thing we need to do here is to be able to remove item from the cart. I will do this one last. This because that one there is a lot of logic that is there. That's why I'm skipping it to the end. So let's do this simple one too here. Because anytime you click on any of these cards, we should be able to remove the card there. And nothing much, just go to the array there and remove the value. And the array come with some goodies that you can use to actually use to remove whatever that is inside it there like that. For example, like this one, I have 1 3. Let me clear everything so that we have all these things, because array come with a lot of goodies. We press enter with this array now and you click on it, then go to its prototype, you see a lot of functionality that is given to us. I've used one of them or two of them now. I've used the find to look for a particular product or to look for a particular item inside the cart. Another one that I use here is reduce. So where's my reduce? So you can see reduce. So it's inside, it's part of the array. So we have this pop, which is what you can use to remove item from the end of the array. You have shift, which is what you can use to remove from the starting point of the array. Another thing that is here is to filter out. So you want to remove, so this one you can use filter now to only return a set of particular value that matches your condition, and that's what we want to use. So our product now, anytime you click on this one, I want to, or this card now, anytime you click on this one, I want to return all the cards that did not matches this ID. So and that's when they return that array, I will now use it to update my card. So which is now going to remove this one from the list. So filter help you to, like just like the name, you are like filtering out some data you don't want inside that your data set. So you have this data set, these two items. You click on this first one. So look through everything with this filter. It will look through everything and it will only return the items that you are not returning first from. So any one of them that return this first one, then it will not return it. So since it's not returning the one you click on and you set it back, it will be, not that it's removing it to directly, it's returning back a new set of array. It's not updating the original array, it's just extracting out the one that matches your data. So it's not left for you to update or to leave it, and that's what you want to do. But there's a lot of functionality that you can use in this array, and there's a different way of doing it. What I want to use with filter now, you can actually use another way of doing it, which is by using splits there like that, but I will not be using that one. I'm going to use this find because find is more appropriate to use with this thing. So now what we need to do is to go into that our function that we're using to, where is it? Okay, yeah, this is it. As you can see, remove cards item. So here now the steps to take, as you can see, the AI is bringing out for us there, but this is the steps to take. So the first step you can do is to filter out. So filter out the item that was clicked, the one that we clicked. And how do you know the one that clicked? That's what we are receiving the ID from. So anytime you click on it, it will give you the ID of that item. Then based on that ID, you filter it out from the list. And once you are done filtering it out, the next step is to the cart with update the cart with the filtered items. So since you've gotten the item that you did not click on, then you just update the stuff. And how do we do it? So the first thing we need to do is to let's just call it this filtered cards like this, which is going to be our context, then the cards, and find will give you one. But when you say filter, it will give you multiple. So that's just the difference. So I'm not using find because I'm not looking for one. I'm looking for all of them that they not matches this ID. If it is just one you are looking for, then you can use find. So here I have filter. So this filter is expecting two things from you. The function. That function will give you each one of the item at the time. And what do you want to do? You only want to return the one that did not matches the ID that was clicked. So this one will give you all the items that you did not click on. So since you've gotten this item, what do we need to do? We just need to, don't forget, it's not updating the cart. It's only giving you another set of array that matches this condition based on this one. So you need to update it back so that it can change what is there before. So what we just need to do here is just to do the cart like this. No, so set cards because we are updating, and you pass the filter there like that. So this one, if none of them match, it will return empty array. So which I know that it's going to match because all these things are why you are clicking on the item. So this is the logic, and this logic can just be bind together inside one inside this thing. That's what that AI is showing that time. But I want to separate it so that you get the context of what is going on. So what is there is when you give us the ID, return all the cart item that did not match that. That's why I see not equal to, because we are only looking for the one that did not match. If you say equal to, it means that's the only one it will return for you. But you are looking for all the other one that did not match this ID. So filter will not return it. It will not return that one that you click on. So since you return it, don't forget it did not update the cart. You only extract out the data. So you need to update the cart so that extract data you get, you just use it to update the stuff back so that it will not remove that one that you don't want from the list. So we need to use this remove cart item. And where do we need to use it? We need to use it inside this our cart list because that's where this thing is located. So let's go inside this order cart list. So this our order now, which is so under this one we need to call remove cart item. So where do we need to know? Where is the X? This is not it. This is not the side. This is not the side. It's not this side. Where is the item? Yeah, it is this side. So this is the side because this is where we have the close the icon. So anytime this button is clicked, want to call, so on click here, on click, what I want to do is remove item. This is not the functional because I want to create another function here. Then anytime this one is called, it will now call that one that is coming from the cart this thing. So what do we need to do? So here const remove item. So anytime this one is clicked, what is just going to do is going to call that will remove this thing. So where is it? So to go back there, as you can see, we have this remove cart item. They are not the same thing. So this remove cart item needs to be called here, but we don't have access to it. So we can actually call it by just come here by saying const remove cart item. It's coming from this use. It's coming from what use cards there like that. So and see, we're only extracting what you need from it. You don't take what you don't need. So from here now, just call this function and pass the ID of the cart item, then dot ID. Then so everything. No, the cart item is coming from where the list is being rendered. It will give us. Then from there, anytime you click on this thing, it will call this function. When this function is called, this one too will call this remove cart item, and we need to pass the ID of the item we want to remove. So save this in, and if everything is okay and is wired together correctly, so if I click on this X now, as you can see, it will remove. And you can see here too, it's good because they are connected together. Like all of them are looking at the same state. So when something happen here, it will happen here. When something happen here, it will happen here, because the state is not to one particular component, it's a global state, or it's isolated from all the components. So it stayed in one place, then just go there and pick what you need. So and whatever you pick there, that's the only thing it will give you. And if it's something that is connected together, or they are going to the same data there, it will always give you the same thing. So once you do something here, it will affect what is going on here. As you can see, as we remove it here, it goes back to that place. And if I add the stuff again to the list, then it come here too. And if you click on confirm order and start new, then it will wipe off everything. So the thing that we need to now work on now is this our quantity box, because we need to be able to increase the counter. So as you are changing the number here, it needs to update this value here. As you can see, the quantity is always 1 by default, but we need to be able to update the quantity. So since it's 3 here, we're supposed to see 3 at this side. So what do we need to do? So let me clear this one that I put here. So scroll down here, like this. So what do we need to do? Let's go in again into this our cart utility, and let us update this our function. So let me move this one up, because they are kind of cheap. So what do we need to do here? So there are two things here that we need to do. There are two things here that we need to do, because it's not just about the ID. You want to update the cart. We need to know the type of the updates that you are doing. There. So are you increasing the quantity, or you are reducing the quantity? So are you increasing the quantity, or you are reducing the quantity? Or if you don't want to do that, we need to get the value that you want to update. No, we already know the ID, but what's the quantity value that you want to update it? Do you want the value? So whatever value you send to us, that's what we use to update. But it goes more than that. We need to check whether that thing is 0. If it is 0, that the value you are sending to us, it means you want to remove it. But if it is not 0, then you will just increase the value or decrease, or we just fix the value. First, we need to check the value you are sending to us. And how do we receive the value? So we need to give us the quantity. So you need to give us the ID of the product, and you still need to give us the quantity that you want to update this into, like that. So whatever quantity you give us, we just save it there. So if you give, this one is increasing by 1. So once you click on this, it will increase by 1. Once you click, it will decrease by 1. So we don't want to be doing that logic here. We've done it here already. So I want is just to receive it inside this function and update the quantity of that product there. But we need to go extra mile. We need to check whether this thing is 0, because you can actually go down to 0. As you can see, this thing can go down to 0. But that one is doing something, and it's trying to call a function that we already removed. But we are not going to be doing this thing again. We just send 0 directly. And once we send 0, once that one sees the 0, it will remove the item from it, because 0 means you don't want anything at all. So why do we need to send the quantity to 0? So that's what we need to do here. So the first thing we need to do here is to locate the cart's item that matches the ID. So the cart item that matches the ID, locate it. If we find it, what we just need to do is to check if the quantity is 0. So if QTY is 0, then remove the item. But if it is not, update. If not, else update the quantity of the item. So this is what we need to do, because this is how you'll be thinking. Assuming I'm the one that is doing it, I don't need to be writing down these steps. It will be in my head, but because I'm showing you what to do, so this is what you'll be doing in your head. You don't just jump into coding. You know what you want to do, so you know the steps to take, because you need to give the computer what to do there. So first, we need to locate the item. And how do we locate the item? You know that we have the ID. So we can use find now, not filter, because we are looking for one, not multiple. So here now, we need to locate the cart item, which is going to be this context, then the cards like this, then find, get the card out of it, and from there give us the card that matches. So the ID cards, not card. So matches the one that is there. So here now we need to check. So we need to check whether this thing is, because if someone is trying to cheat your system, you don't just want people to just insert anything that does not exist. So you need to check. Even if you know that this thing always there, you still need to check because you are dealing with user. So you need to check whether there's you getting this in or not. Those ones want to do any updates like that. So what do we want to do? Yeah. What do we want to do? 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 So what we want to do here is to update this item. So what we want to do is to update the quantity. But before you update the quantity, or before I even do this check, because there are different way of doing this in, I'm trying to fit in the step that is not going to uh, get you, because JavaScript is kind of a crazy, and the way I want to do it now is not the best way of doing this thing because I want to mutate the stuff. So I want to mutate the objects. So I'm going to do it in that way first before trying the other way to solve the problem, because there's another way of solving this problem. Now I told you that different ways of modifying whatever stuff you have in your array are there like that. So you can find the items, and once you find the items, you create a new object out of this one so that it doesn't update anything that is inside the state. But for now, I won't do that. I'll just go with the simple way that we have here. So the first thing we need to check here is that if we have the cat item and at the same time the quantity is the same thing as 0. So if you have the item, that means you can find the item, and the quantity that is being sent to us is 0. It means you want to remove that item. So what we just need to do is just to call this our remove cat item. No, we've already created the functionality for removing, so we don't need to start doing the code again here. It's here already. So what we just need to do is to call remove cat item, then pass the ID of the cat. So this one will do justice for us like that. Else, so else, no, now I've started putting all this thing together. So if the so this one is this. So first of all, locate the item. Then after locating the item, we check if the quantity is 0. Then we remove the item. But if it is not else, so we update the quantity of the items are there. So here now, what we just need to do is to update the cat item that we got. So this is going to be cat item, then dot quantity is whatever the quantity that is given to us like this. But you might be thinking, how is this impossible? This is what I'm updating. Is it now going to update what we have there? You are going to see, because JavaScript is crazy. Yeah, because objects, they are kind of they are reference, it's reference. So which means this object too will be referencing this object that is here. And if you make changes to this object, it will update the object that is there. You are not creating a new one yet. You are creating a reference to the one that you already have in memory. But if you know that you want to create a new one, which is what you're supposed to do later on, but for now, this is the method I'm going to use because I don't want to complicate the stuff. So what we need to do now is to go back into this button because we do not handle the 0. We are calling something else for the 0. So let's go into that product again. And inside the product, we have this quantity box. So where is it? Quantity box. So this is it here. Don't forget, we are not sending down anything like this again. So we are not sending anything like this. So by default, the quantity is 0. It is 1 rather, like this. So it's always 1 because that's what we are sending. I don't think I'm sending product again, sir. Or if I want to get the quantity to out of the product, but I don't need it. I don't need this product at all. I'm not using it. So I'm not using anything from here again. So what I just need here is to call this our, so where is it? So const, which is going to be update cat. So let me use cat because that's the only thing you need here. Nothing concerning about the product. The only thing is updating is the cat. Wait, we need it too. We need it. We need product because we need the ID. So let me take it back. We need it because we need the ID. Look at the function here. The function we are using. As you can see, you need the ID and you need the quantity. So we need the product because we need to, from the product, that's where you're going to get the ID of it, the one that was added. So this is the increment. So what are we doing? We are updating here, but this is just extra work that we are doing. So this is just extra work that we are doing like this. So, but because I need to extract this thing out, so this is going to be first updates should just be this. So pass this updates inside the side, and at the same time we are going to call this our no, this is not the name of the function. So the name of the function is update cat, and from there we just need to call this our update cat. And what is cards is expecting ID, so products then dot ID, and at the same time it's going to receive this update. So the same thing we did here, that's the same thing we are going to do here. And uh we don't need to do any of this thing because this thing is going to be there already, so we don't need to do all this paparazzi. No, before we are using that this thing, so that's where that one is needed. So this one come down here. Then what is updates? Update, okay, this is value. I don't need to call update, so this is going to be value. Let me call this one to value so that you can, but it's the same thing that I'm doing. There, no, value, var, and this one too is going to be var. So look at what is going on there. Quantity that we had before, we add one to it so that we can get a value. Then we update these states, and at the same time we call this update cat. When you are decreasing two, is the same thing, just that the only difference is just this minus and plus that we have from the stuff. So nothing much that we are doing here. Give it the ID, give me the value. The update card we handle the other necessary stuff that you need to handle. So if everything is okay, if you click on this one should change to 2. This one will be 2. This one too here is going to be 2. So let's click on it. Click. We have 2 here, but I did not see 2 here. So which means something is wrong somewhere there. So what do we need to do? We need to check. Like that means it's not updating it the way I was expecting it to update because I was using the object. So what we need to do here now is to come inside and yeah, it actually updated, and that's what I was talking about. That or the silly way that I talked about. Can you see that it has updated the quantity? But the React did not know that that value has been updated. You don't do, because that's the problem of React. There are some changes in JavaScript that React cannot pick that update up. You see that it has already changed, but React did not know that the update has been done. So if you click on this one, or if you do something that React knows about, then that's when it's going. Can you see now that it show it? Because that time is when the React re-render. But the changes that we are doing here, the React did not know about it, so it did not re-render for us to get the update. It's changing. If I click on 3 now, you see that the value has changed to this in there. So that to change to 3, as you can see, this one too is not updating it on time. Let me close the stuff. So that's the reason why we said I need to use silly way first before we now use the right way, because you need to know what is going on in JavaScript stuff there. The thing is updating the value, but JavaScript doesn't know that the React does not know that the value has been updated, because we are doing something known as we are doing something here. We are doing mutability here. So this is what I'm doing here. This one is connected to the one that is inside here. So behind the scene, the update is happening behind the React, and the React did not know that the value has changed. In order for React to know that the value has changed, what we need to do here is to get all this value here. This is the steps. So get all the value. This is one of the steps. Get all this value. Look at the index of this one. Then replace the value at that place, and now replace this entire value with whatever we have it. Or instead of us doing it like this, what we can just do after we updated this value, take whatever that is there before and just dump it back. We have to now see that there is a new changes in your code. So that's one way of doing this. This is what I'm saying here. So this is what I'm saying at this place. So what do we need to do? First, let me go down to 0. So remove and 0. Can you see that that one works? Why did it work? Is because React knows that we are doing changes. Because don't need to remove cat is updating the cat by calling this set cat. But for the increase, did we call anything like set? No. we did not call it. So React did not know that something has changed. So that's what we need to do here too. We just need to, since you've already updated the stuff and JavaScript are doing the changes behind the scene, just for this simple stuff, because I don't want to go into a deeper code, whatever stuff. So what we just need to do is update the card. And what we can just do here, call the context, then set cards here. And what do we need to do? Just get whatever that is there before, because it has been updated. What is the React, the JavaScript has already updated the stuff, but React did not know that the value has changed. So we need to call this set so that React can know that something has changed inside the state. Because once you call set, it will trigger the React system, and React will re-render. And once you re-render, you get the updated value. So this is just simple ways of handling this thing for now, because I don't want to go deeper into you finding the index, remove, or you use splice to do this stuff, because we have splice. Splice help you to remove item and add at that particular place. So, but I don't want to be using all those ones now. Let's just use this simple stuff for now. So save, click on this item, click on this stuff, but I'm still not seeing the updates. It's still not doing it the way. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, it has changed. These two are here, but it's still not picking it up. So he's not picking it up. Oh. It's not picking it up. So what do we need to do? I think I have to use the other methods. But here I'm supposed to get, so I've already extracted out what I need. This one has been updated here. So this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Because what the problem here is that React is not detecting the change. Look at it. The 2 is here, but we did not see it here. React is not detecting the change. So click on 3, it will update, but it's still not detecting the change. So if I remove this one now, can you see that it has updated? The thing is updating the state, but React is not detecting the changes. So we have to use splice and some other thing to make it work there. So don't let me add all this. Let me play the stuff back. So what do we need to do? We need to do it in a way that that the React is going to know what is going on. What's wrong with your system? Blue screen. Hope is not your RAM or hard disk, because when it started having problem, that's why you'll be getting this blue screen. You need to check that message and put it on Google and see what is causing it. So this is it here. So let me, because this thing is happening because of the object. So here we have this, or we have this array of objects. So I have this object which is having age as 1. Age is 1. This is one object. So this is another one. Age is 2. So this is another one. Because I want you to see what is going on before we put it here. And let me save it in a variable so that we can, so const x should be this. So you can see we have 2 stuff there. So now I want to extract out the first one. So how do I get the first one from that list? So what I can do, so const y now is just going to be x, then dot find. You know, this thing, we need to give it a function that receive the value. So it received the value, it received the index if you want, and that's the index that I want. So I is the same thing as 0, because I want to extract out the first one from the list. And if I call the y, now can you see it's giving me. So now I can now do y, then dot age is 5. You know, y is what I'm updating. But now if I call x and open the x, can you see that it has changed x to? That's what is happening there. So what we are doing here, we extract out something out of this card, then we update that item that we extracted out. Just because you update this one doesn't mean it will not touch that one too. It's touching it, but that changes that is happening behind the scene, and that React will not detect this kind of a change. So React needs to know that, you know, your state, when you go back door to update the state, React will not know that you've already updated the state. The only time React will know that you've updated the state is when you call this set card. Anytime you are using use state, that's why it always give you 2 things: the state and what we use to update the state. If you go and update the state behind the scene, or you update behind that set state, React will not know that something has changed. So you need to do it in a way that React will pick it up, that even though the changes is there in JavaScript, but React did not know that the value has changed. And that's why you see that nothing is changing here. So if I change it to 4, the changes is happening, but React did not know that the changes is here. because the way we solve the problem. No, I told you array actually come with a bunch of functionality that, or the methods that you can use on it there. So you have like add, you can find the index, find, this one is used to find the index of the items that you are looking for. From there you can just update it. After update that element and that index, what you can do now is to take everything and set it back by using your set. Another way of doing it is by using this splice. So splice help you to remove or help you to add to your item. So we can use the splice. For example, here now, if you go to MD, all this thing is not coming from my head. Everything on MDN documentation here there. So just do this where is it? So array, so array splice like this. So MDN. MDN is just Mozilla this thing, which is where you see documentation about everything that related to the web. As you can see, prototype splice so changes the content of array by removing, replacing existing. So this is what we want to use: replacing existing, or you remove it. You can remove it, or you can add to that place, or you replace that one. So splice can help you, and it all depend on the stuff that you are passing into it. So what we need to do, the way we are going to use is that get everything that is inside the cart. After getting everything that is inside the cart, we update what is there. Then after updating what is there, we do other things that we need to do. So this is it here. This is how it works. So look at it. When you give it to splice, so what do you want? Which index do you want? So 0 means you are not removing anything. You just want to insert at that particular index. So this is 0, this is 1. So which means at this 1 here now, you want to insert something, not you want to remove. That's when you supply 0 here. This is index. This is a number of something you want to remove. So if it's 0, it means you don't want to remove. But you now supply a value. Since you supply a value, it means it will just insert at that place. But what if you put 1? This one means that this is index what? 4. Index we have this index 4. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3. But don't forget we already insert another one. This is the new array now. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what do we do here? So you see 4. So which means at the end of that place, you want to replace one item. Look at it, you only say 1. So you want to replace the element that is here with this new one. This is what we have. We have January, February, March, April, and June. Note that something missing here. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3. These 4, when you put 1 here, it means you want to replace. When you put 0, it means you want to add at that place. But if you put 1 and you don't supply anything, it will just remove it. No, it can add, it can remove, and it can update. When you pass 0 here, it will just add another value at that place. It's not removing what is there before. It will just create a new space. Now this is 0, this is 1. Match is 1. But since we put 0 here, it means it will not replace that match. It will just insert another one at that place. But now that you put 1, it means that value at that place, you want to remove it if you don't supply this third value here. If you supply the third value, it means that place you just want to replace. When you put 1 and you don't supply the third value, you want to remove. If you put 1 and you put the third value, it means you want to replace. If you put 0 and you put the third value, it means you want to add at that place. You are not removing what is there before, you just want to add another thing at that particular index. And that's, we can use something like this to do whatever we want to do with our object. What we just need to do is to construct another object. Then after we construct another object, we now update the one at that place. Then from there, we call our set state and we just put everything together like that. So look at this thing that I was using. So where is this our stuff? So instead of us doing this thing by us, instead of doing all this stuff that we're doing, because here now, this one that is coming from here,
You are not, it's not returning, it look like a returning a new object for you, but they are actually referencing the same source, just like what I did here. So just because you use find here doesn't mean this y2 is still not referencing this object. So anytime you are dealing with object, they are always referencing the same location. Once it's the same thing, even if you create it in another variable, it will still be pointing to that first one. If you make changes with the second one, it will change the first one. If you change the first one, it will change the second one, because they are pointing to the same location in memory. And that's why you see that we updated this age of y, but by the time we check x, that age has been updated from 1 to 5. So that's how JavaScript work behind the scene. But these changes that is going on here now, React did not know about that changes. No, changes always come from set state. So which means we need to create our code in a way that the set state is what we're going to use to update the stuff there. So what do we need to do? So what we need to do here is to find the items. So if you can find the item and the quantity is 0, do that. But there's a problem here. Oh. There is another condition we need to check here, because we need to show error to the user when there is no cart item. But for now, let's just assume that it will always be there. Anytime you click on that button, you are giving us correct ID, but it's not always like that. So you should always do the checking. But here we are assuming that the quantities is only, I mean the item is always there, but it's not, because if this there is no cart item or the quantity is 0, if this cart item is not there, this one will always come down here, which is assuming that it is here, so which is bad. So what we need to do here, let's create another object. So const item here, what we just need to do, create another object, but update it based on what is coming from here, like that. So what do we need to do? What we just need to do is to update. So what we just need to do is to just get everything that is coming from here before. No, this is spread operator. What this thing is doing now, everything that is inside this place, spread it here. And what do you want to do? We just want to update the quantity. Please look at this one. We just created a separate object, not that we are updating what is there before. So what we just need to do, the quantity should just be this qty. This is not what we need to do. So after we've created a new item, we need to use this item to update the one at that index that we find it. So that one now, by using our splice. Then after we update that one, we just call this our set cart for it. So here now, what I just need to do, const cart, or you can call it old cart. So let me use a name. Old cart like this should just be context. This one too, I'm going to spread it so that old connect and dot cards here. So from there, we need to find the index of this one, the index of where this one is coming from. Because don't forget, when you are using splice, you need the index of the item, which is the first thing you are passing to that splice. So the first thing you are passing is the index of the item. And you know this thing you are working on, you can't just assume that is the first item or the second item, but you can actually get the index of the items that you have. You know this one we say find, that one we use is find. That one will just give you all the item. But if you need the index of that item, array have all this functionality. So instead of you calling find, on the array there is this find index. So it will find the item, but it will return index of that item back to you. Instead of returning item, it will return the index. So and we can now use it here. So what we can just do is so const, and these are the stuff that I said I don't want to do before, like that. So const index like this should just be old card, then index of whatever the items that we pass in inside. Oh yeah, I don't want to use that. This is what I want to use, find index. So because I don't want just one, because no, this is not simple stuff. It's an object. So and you can't just use this thing to find like that. It will never return. So find the card that matches this ID. And once we find the ID, so what do we want to do? And what is it saying here? So on save on use will be undefined. But hey, this thing, so because if the cart item is not here, but for now, let's just assume this thing will always be there. So what do we want to do? What we just want to do here is this old cards that we have before, then splice. So what do we want to do? Pass the index. No, we want to replace, and we want, what are you replacing it with? We're replacing it with this item. So what we just need to do here is that remove all this one and set it to the old cards like this. So if you want, what you can just say here is equals new cards is just going to be this, and from there copy this one, then pass it like this, and this thing should work. And if it's not working, then we are leaving it like that, which I know that it's what's time check. So we have like 5 minutes left. So save, and let me reload everything so that it starts from scratch there. And if everything is okay, we should have, so we have this item, click on 2, and I still did not see anything. So what is going on? I don't know what is going on again. So let me see. We need to do, because I've done all the necessary stuff that needs to be done. Like, let me wait for it. It's loading because this thing is updating it. Wait, so did we update this thing? Because we've done all the necessary stuff that needs to be done. Let me see. Let me click on this confirm order. It's still showing one, so which means it's not picking it up. So 2, 3, 4. Then add this one. It's still showing one. It's not getting. It's not even getting updated at all. So let me see what is going on there. Why is my component not showing again? Component come outside. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? So let me add all this unnecessary stuff. So create a new item. After you create a new item based on what is there before, we fetch the details. Even though this one I can move them out. So we need the index. We need the index of the items. So after getting the index there, after getting the index, what would no, something is wrong here. So where's the new cat? The new cat is this. So let me just move all this one out. But I don't think we need to be doing this one when we don't need it, because the only time we need it is when we need. So don't create a code that you don't need. It's always come down here. And again, to here, I want us to handle this thing correctly. So as if cat item like this. So as long we have cat item, that's when we want this thing to happen. Else, so that means the cat you are what the ID you are sending does not match anything. So what you can just do here is to just console log all to do alert. So what I will just do is alert invalid cards like that. So invalid card cat item, because imagine that function you are calling it yourself and you did not send the correct ID. It will want to update wrong stuff there. So it's better you will handle it like this. So what we're doing here is check if the cart item is there and the quantity is 0. So if it is like that, what do we need to do? We need to remove the item. But if it is not, we check whether that item is there, because this will either be null or that cart. So if it is null, it will not do any of this thing. But if it is not null, so what do? We spread whatever that is there before to create a new item, and we update the quantity of the stuff based on what you are sending from here. If it is 2 you send, it will update. But React will not detect the change, because if you just update this cart item directly, the changes will happen there. In the JavaScript world, it will happen. But React doesn't know that the changes has occurred. So in order for React to know, we need to call this our set whatever stuff. And what do we do? What we just do is to just create a new object out of what is there before, or a new array out of what is there before. Then after, what you are doing here doesn't mean it's still not replacing the source one. It will still replace it with don't forget, the splice is replacing the object itself. And when you do this one, it will go to the source one. But in order for React to see what is going on, we need to call this set object. And what do? Create a new set of cards from what we have here before, find the index of the one we want to work with, then replace it with the new item. This one now is a new this in there. This one is a new object on its own. It's not like what is there before. We did not just do item is the same thing as cart item. No, on this line, what we just do is cart item dot quantity is the same thing as this quantity. So which means this one you are just updating the object that is there before. But what we did here is we are creating a new object, but we are using what is coming from this cart item. With the title, the price, no, we don't need to change. The only thing we are just changing is the quantity. So that's what is spread here. Take everything that is here, just copy everything that is here, put it inside this one, then update the quantity of this one. So this one is going to create its own object. Then when it creates its own object, we want to replace this one that is there before. So what do? We kind of this line is not needed if I don't want to use it, but just to create a new set of array there, and like make a copy of the array, is copy of array. The object that is there, you can still modify the stuff, but I don't want to do like that. So what do? We use splice. Look at the index of the element, go to that index, we put one. One means you either want to update or remove. So if you just put one here, you don't pass anything here, it will remove it. Because we can actually use this one too for that remove card instead of using that filter that we use here. This is another way of doing it. Just find the index and you splice it. But React will still not detect the change. You still need to call this set card. So this new value that you do, you have to pass it in. But for now, we are updating the value. And since you're updating, you set the new value you want to do. Then after getting the value, that new data that we get it, so that React can see is that it's a new stuff. That's why I created another array here. So this one we update it. After updating the value there, we now pass it into this set card. So this set card now we say, oh, this is a new set of data. Then it will render our component again. And once the component is rendered, then you see all the value there. So if I increase this one now, as you can see, it's only updating that one because we are using the index. And as you can see, the cat item too is getting updated because this is 3, this is 2. So if I increase this one too, it will be 2. This one is going to, and it will keep updating the one and after. See, 16. So 16 plus 3, that is 19. And as you can see, this is the total price. And if you click on this thing too, we get the update. This one now, we have to only see this one because once this one come outside, it will go to that store and fetch the stuff because the component is coming for the first time. So this one will only see it. So and yeah, but something is wrong. Oh, something is wrong. This is not the correct price. We did not update this one because there's no way 3 times 6,000 will be 6,000, and there's no way 16 times 5,000. It's supposed to be what we have there, 80 and 18. So something is missing there. So we need to go into that other model. We did not update that part. So where is it? Price. Where did I get it? Oh, this is the problem. I did not update. I was using the price instead of quantity. So can you see the quantity is here? No, not quantity. The price multiplied by quantity is what we're supposed to use here. So down here we need to have const amount should just be quantity multiplied by the price. So here now it's not going to be this, it's going to be the amount like that. So save and go back to the page. As you can see, we get the updated this. So yeah, so 3 times 6 will give us 18,000. 16 times 5 will give us this thing, and we will click on start new order now. Chum, it wipe everything off. So click on this, click on this, click on this, then open it. Oh, 5. So go down to 0. You see that it will remove it from the wait. Oh yeah, it's updated because these two are there already. So increase the value. So we have 7. 5 plus 1 plus 1, it will give us 7 as the total item. And if you click on this one now, it should kind of remove it from the list. So this is Macron here. Click on it, it should remove it from the list because we add that logic there. If you send 0 to us, it means you want to remove. But if it's more than 0, then you update the value. So this is the only thing we have left on the list. And if you click on it, that's the only thing you see because everything is connected. So whatever that happens here, happens here, happens here. Because they are going to the same state that we have there. And it's not that the thing is inside one component alone that you now start. No, it's not inside one component, it's somewhere, and that place any of the component can go there to pick whatever they need like that. So in the next application that we're going to be working on, I'm not going to be slowing down like this one because it's still the same thing that is going to be going on there, but I'm going to move faster now compared to what we have been doing before. Just that if something that we've not talked about before, I have to slow down. But with something we've talked about, then I have to go fast. With this thing that we have now, you can build any application and you deploy it for just like the starting part, but we still need API because the way we design this application now is not connected to any API. And when you're working on something, you need to be able to connect to the API to save the data in the data. Now, if you close this start new order now. The order you did before, that's the end of it. So there's no way the restaurant will be able to know the order that people has already. So we need to have like a database where all these things are being saved to, so that you can go there and see the order, whatever you like, the order you kind of giving out today. Oh, you want to calculate some, you want to do some analysis about it. Or what's our sale today? Sale. What's the sale we have? What order do we have today? All this thing now that we're doing, it's just on the client side. Once you reload the page, that's the end. So, but this thing should be able to be persistent. We call it persistent. But we have two type of persistent. It's something you can persist on the client side, and the one that you can persist on the server. The client is only going to be available on that device that is using it, or the browser. But if it is server, you can log in anywhere and you still. That's why you see that Jumia now on your mobile, the order you have there, you still see it on the browser, because these details are being saved at the back end. And once you log in with your details, you see everything there. Not that you do something on the mobile, you don't see it on the desktop, because they are saving the data somewhere. And anytime you log in, it will bring all your data back for you. So we need to be able to connect to this. But first, we need to be able to deploy this our application. And how do you deploy it? So to deploy this application, we need to build it. And once we build it, then we'll be able to deploy the app. Because what we are doing is just the local development there. But when you want to run this application, you need to build it to generate artifacts. Artifact is just the file that you are going to deploy online. This is not what you deploy. All this online, whatever, so don't know about this. So you need to build the application. And how do you build it? The build command is already here. You just need to run npm run this build here, and it's going to build the application, which is going to generate a file that you are going to deploy online, which is the normal JavaScript and HTML code that is going to combine everything that you have there, to combine it together into a production build. So what you just need to do is to run npm run build like this. So it will, yes, so it's going to run the stuff, and it will generate a file here known as the out or dist. So what is inside that folder is what we now deployed online there. So let me go to the site. There are different sites you can use. You can see that here now we are using this name chip. We buy this in there. So you can use it. Just go and put all your file there and it will start loading. But you know all this one you have to pay. But for the one we don't need to pay, so let's go to that one, which is this is what I always use for training. What is it? Which is this cloud flare. So Cloudflare like that, and they give us a way of deploying your application, but you just need to go to their documentation and see how you can deploy. They can even help you to connect to your GitHub account. As when you put this in on GitHub, because you can actually set up a workflow where you update your code, and once you push to the GitHub, it will pick the updated code and it will update the site for you. Or you can do the static upload here, which is going to be crazy when you are working with this thing. Well, for now, let's just go with this one. So I'll just click on login, and once you log in, it will take you to your dashboard. On the dashboard, there are different things you can do with the Cloudflare. They provide a lot of services for you there. So what you just need to do is to pick the one that is best for you. But what we need is pages. So they have pages, which is where you can deploy a static website. Static means that you've already built your HTML and CSS. You are not making any change. Just go and drop it there. And that's the only thing it will always give. I don't know what this used to do with this network. It doesn't go with this net. This is my network. Okay. The office net. Okay, thank God. It loads today. So you log in or you sign up. If you don't have an account, yeah, this is the problem I used to have with it. I have to change network. Oh, thank God. Let me see if it's going to go. Because you used to do some nonsense when you use one network like that. So it's still loading. Okay, I'm human being. So let's go. Success. Let's go. So one is downloading. Yeah, it's taking me to the dashboard. So you're going to bring out a lot of tools. You can host your image there, like all the images. Maybe you deal with a site that they deal with upload of images, like Instagram or those things. So they have like service that you can use to save all your image. You know, all those things you're uploading on social media, they are saving it somewhere. So they have all the service. Maybe you create an application,
that deals with saving the data like images, video, whatever stuff. You can use their service. They have a lot of this thing is still loading. Can you see? So they have a lot of services that you can use. They have the AI, they have the images like hosting. They can help you to host your image or to host something like video, whatever stuff. So you can use them. But what we need is under this workers and pages. And the one we actually need is the page. But if you click on the stuff, the thing is crazy. Like that. Because the menu before the menu was simple, but now I don't know why they just combine these worker and pages. They are separate stuff before, but they now combine them together. So as you can see, I already have a site going on already, but this is not the way it's going to show. We don't have anything. It will show a menu where you have workers and pages. So you have to click on the tab of pages. But since I already deployed, you can see the training, whatever. So you just need to click on the create. And once you click on the create, as you can see, this is what it's going to show for you. This is what I'm talking about. When you don't have that site before, this is what you see. So you have the workers and you have the what you need is the pages, not the workers. As you can see, you can connect to your kit to upload, and the thing will detect the type of the project that you're working on, or you upload your own assets, which is the HTML, Java, whatever stuff. And if you come back here now, this thing is done. Can you see there is a dist folder that is generated for us? So this folder now, can you see it have HTML, the assets, and all those. So you can see that it's picking all those things that is under public. It's dumped them here. So that is why you don't need to start saying public slash. Just mention what you need because it will just copy everything directly under the dist. No, where we have all this thing is inside public. But by the time you get here, you just dump everything here. The same thing too with the asset. You just copy everything and dump. So that's the reason why. Because by the time you build for the prod, this is the structure you are going to have. So you just need to go to where it is. So the fill in file explorer, because you need to drag that folder there into that place, and it's going to not the dist here. You drag it into that place, and it will upload everything that is inside that folder. So upload assets. Once you click, it will ask you for the name of your project, like the name you want to use for the project. Say that that one you use. So yeah, just give it the name, and whatever name you give it, that's what it's going to use as the URL. So yeah, it's going to be mayovest. So what's wrong? Mayovest foodie like this. So that's what it's going to use as the URL. So create. If the name already exists, it will generate some random ID along with it, but that name is not there. So what you just need to do is do drag and drop. So just move this in, drag that folder where all the file are located there. So it will see all the file and it will start uploading them. I can see the site is just 1 MB because of the product image that we have installed. But assuming we don't have all this thing we are fetching from the server, your file will not even be up to 1 MB. So because when you're uploading, you don't want to upload a bigger file into this thing. So you get most of the data from the database, and that's what we'll be doing in the next class. There, like that, we're going to find some of this public API that we can use, and we'll connect to them. We'll get the data and we'll display the information to the user there. So yeah, as you can see, successful. So the next we need to do is to deploy the site. Don't forget the index.html. That's what the thing will know. Index.html is the first page that is always load when you go to the URL and you don't specify what you are looking for. And that's the reason why I always use index.html in all my files. But this thing will generate it for you automatically, like that. So click continue, and from there it will take you to your deployment. And if you make changes to your site, you build it again, you come there and you will upload. Under the deployment, they've even changed this their tab. This is not the way it used to display before. Can you see now you can now create a new deployment. I will create it here. So when you click, it will take you back to that place so that you can now update the site. So the site is there now. We just need to create on the link, or you can even change the domain if you want to update the domain to your own. But click on this now. It should kind of take us to the site, and if everything is okay, we should have. We did not change the title of the page. So as you can see, we're going to have the stuff. Do we connect to external fonts or we have our local font? Because I'm not seeing the changes in font, or because it's still loading. Yeah, because it's still loading the font. So as you can see, this site now is live. Something that you can, um, you know, look at on your phone or any way. Something that we can load from phone. Not that it's on my system. It's not on my system. We've already deployed the stuff online. So we just need to go to the link, which is this HTTPS, so mayovest, then iPhone foodie, then dot pages dot dev, like that. As you can see, you get it on the phone and click on add to cart. So increase, scroll down, as you can see, it updates like that because it's JavaScript code. So it will convert all those weird stuff that we have into a proper JavaScript code. So add to cart, it should be two items there now. So this one is three, this one is one, and if you click on this thing, see, it will update. And again, too, the one here now is there. So we have application that user can click on confirm. As you can see, we have our modal that is there. From there, start a new order, wipe off everything. And you can check it out on desktop too, which is what we are doing here. So we just deploy our application, which is something you can even use for some of your side projects, like that you work on something, you come to this link and use it so that, because most of the people they want to see what you've worked on. You just send this link and they'll go there, they will check and look out for whatever they need to look at. And then when they are okay, then they will call you. And that will be all. So